queens off the board. That means there are fewer dynamics in the position to play with. There's a possibility of easier draws in the game compared to when queens are on. Yet Magnus is very happy to do that every single time and find small and subtle ways to get the wins despite this. It's absolutely incredible, and that's probably the reason why Firoujza is moving the queen away.
I love it. It only took him under 20 seconds to decide whether to take the queens off the board or to keep them on. Alireza, he sticks true to his guns, playing to his style. He's a very attacking player, needs the queens, and he's playing against Magnus's bigger strength, the endgame. Take the queens off there, improve the white pawn chain, and you are suffering for the rest of this encounter. Alireza wants to go hunting for Magnus's king. The black queen standing on the edge of the board. Will this threat be blocked? Will she run away? And there we go. The bishop jumps out. That's a pawn sacrifice. Magnus grabs on b7, but Alireza will restore the material balance now.
And in a big way, right? Because you end up putting your queen on those light squares. Looks extremely well placed there with the black knight jumping in. Queen takes pawn to come in next. But Magnus has ideas of his own. That knight can jump to the center of the board, as it does with a double attack on the queen. Pawns are getting off the board here. Is this fizzling out?
Looks like the game is being guided towards equality, but there are enough ingredients left for both sides to get optimistic, especially here. I'm going to say Magnus Carlsen, the white knight, is super powerful. It's a bit of an octopus right now. Its tentacles over 8 squares, covering some important jumping points for the black rooks. The white queen active as well. It looks like it should be level, but it's up to Firoujza to prove it.
Well, Firoujza's got one big trump in the position, his own queen, right, which can start targeting not only the pawns on the left side, the one pawn Magnus has remaining. And a big hello to our live audience there. You know, this has been so awesome. Chess feels alive here in Riyadh. But coming back to the position, you know, Alireza takes a pause right now. That queen can go pawn hunting, as it does, and also defends his own pawn, and a big blunder.
Well, Magnus frowning. There's a huge move right now. He can trap black's rook in the corner. This is so hidden, so difficult, but will Magnus Carlsen see it? He's frowning. The white knight can go to the b8 square. The black, he's found it, Magnus Carlsen. He's winning the black rook due to some back rank issues here. Double exclamation mark given. Firoujza, he hasn't realized yet, hasn't reacted, but suddenly he finds himself lost.
Firoujza in shock right now. That rook trapped from an innocuous position. It felt like this was fizzling out. All the trades that happened, and a one-move blunder. And look at that. You can take the queen, but the rook takes queen, comes in with a massive check. It's not checkmate. Firoujza can drop back with the queen, but he lose big material. Magnus Carlsen with a winning advantage here.
That is unbelievable. And out of nowhere, we have an incredible tactic. And suddenly, this is all Magnus Carlsen in game number 1. Almost uncharacteristic of Firoujza there, but it's very difficult to spot as well. We've been talking about knights back to the back rank. Your opponent's back rank is what won that piece for Magnus. Incredible.
Yeah, it was so hidden. It was a queen sacrifice. So maybe we show in a slow action replay what just happened, what could have happened if Firoujza had taken the queen. In this position, it was better for the black queen to step elsewhere, maybe give the black king some breathing space instead, because after a queen slide to a3, we saw knight to b8. Such a rare pattern, almost unique, trapping the black rook in the corner, which had to take the knight, had to give itself up for the highest price possible, and then the queen sacrifice. Queen takes rook. If the queen had been captured, we would have seen a rook land, back rank checkmate, had to be blocked by the black queen, and ultimately rook for knight advantage. That is the status quo in the current position as well, if we catch up with the current game, but it's the queens coming off. Might be ending very shortly. Magnus Carlsen is going to pick off black's pawn. The a7 pawn is going to be rook versus knight, but no fortress here. 3 pawns versus 3 pawns on the same flank is known to be a winning endgame. Magnus knows it too.
This is busted for Firoujza. And what a gift this has been in game 1. In the very first start, where it looked like Firoujza knew everything that he was doing and doing it absolutely right, keeping control on the clock, taking the pawns off the board, having his own activity. And then a one-move blunder. Unbelievable. Magnus was in shock.
It's out of nowhere. And while that's unbelievably shocking, at the same time, how many times have we said it's come out of nowhere when we're commentating a game involving Magnus Carlsen? He generates these opportunities. He generates his own luck. It's incredible that that's happened. Now we need to look at the reaction of Firoujza. He knows that this first game is probably a loss. However, what can he do about it? What does his mentality look like?
He has to recover from everything that's happened. I think he has to calm himself down. He's not resigning. He's going to try to fight this out. But in his head, somewhere he's getting ready for that fight in game 2. Rather than rushing to that after a blunder, many times in our own heads, we're sort of accepting the reality of what's just happened, getting ready for the fight that's coming on, where he will be playing with the white pieces. But how trivial is this endgame as Firoujza tries to set up a fortress?
It still takes time. Magnus will still need to maneuver. At the moment, he's trying to break through with his king. He's going to have to use teamwork here. The white rook and white king need to target the base of black's pawn chain. It's all about the f7 square. Black's got to keep it defended with his king. He's got to use his knight to shield and shoulder away white's king as it tries to approach that pawn.
And if this is a theoretical win for white, how does he break through? At what point does black no longer have any defense against this?
It's when that pawn falls, simply. It's when the white rook lands on the 7th rank and when the king, the white king, is able to approach. At the moment, it can't get any closer, but Magnus now taking away squares from the black knight, for liberating his rook. Easy to kick the black king away, but it's the knight and the jumps there you need to be careful of.
You know, what was so impressive was that pattern, the tactical motive that Firoujza missed on the board and allowed his own rook to get trapped in its starting position was spotted by Magnus in under 1 second. The moment Firoujza moved his queen to the wrong square, Magnus, you could see it on him. He leaned forward. He was locked in. He knew that Firoujza had made a massive blunder.
Look how the black knight is actually trapped on its back rank. No squares. Magnus, almost with a head bob, kind of shaking in the chair now. He knows this is a dream start to him. I'm not going to fault Firoujza at all. That was the most hidden trick, most sneaky tactic I've seen so far at the EWC. And there we go. It's the first result of the grand final.
Resignation in game number 1 after an incredible tactic out of nowhere. Magnus Carlsen wins game 1 in set 1 and takes a very, very strong advantage. Don't forget, it's a best of 3 sets in the grand final, so the comeback mechanic is still there. There's plenty that can still happen. However, it is very much advantage Magnus.